The reason I emphasize that very is because, if you follow me, you know that I have spent time doing live TV. And when you're in the live TV space, you guys on the other side of that camera don't necessarily know what's happening before. And sometimes you're gonna like run up, putting your tie on, and just start talking, and reading, really welcoming, getting your seat ready, and then you start reading. And this was one of those times for me where it's just been kind of go today, which is good. And I arrived to Restream, which is how we stream our events here, at about 10:59 my time. So all good. Here we are. We're live across all of our platforms. Way to go, Ken, always supporting me, which I appreciate. He says we're live on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. If you are out there listening, I've got the chat open, so let me know where you are. Let us know what your company is, so that we can network and support each other in the education space. And if you've got any questions, let me know that as well, that I can answer. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I've been doing today, which is I was lucky enough to be a part of a roast, which is an interesting term. A roast for companies that are a part of Startup Lithuania, supported by some really great other companies, XEDU, EduChallenger, and Savita. All of these are European-based companies supporting ed tech companies in Europe. And so I was able to give a talk a couple weeks ago, and then I was a part of a roast today. It was led by a guy named Patrick Collins, who it's only a matter of time before Patrick and I work together. It was our first chance meeting, but we really gelled. There were some other people who were on the panel who I got to know. And then there was these companies, 7 of them, who are based in Lithuania, who had 3 minutes to talk about their ed tech company, and then for us to react. And it was funny because I think that word roast, may have gotten lost in translation. But Patrick pointed that out as kind of our leader, our fearless leader, very early on, that he wasn't there to roast anybody. He was there to give constructive feedback and hopefully support in any way that he could. And then I followed Patrick and I said, look, if you're looking for me to be the Simon Cowell, you got the wrong person. Because if anybody out there knows me, I am no Simon Cowell. I am no friggin' Simon Cowell. I am probably Randy, if you used to follow American Idol. I am Heidi Klum, if you watch AGT. I'm there to support, right? But we had this roast, and it went really well. For the most part, it went really well. There were some folks who had to step in because their founder wasn't there and she wasn't necessarily as prepared as she would like to be. There were some technical challenges. One person, she kept opening up her mic to talk and there was this humming noise. There was another company that just had problems kind of getting the deck going, but everybody got through it. And so today I thought that we would be able to really speak about the value of getting out in front of people. Okay. And in this roast, which was really an opportunity for these people to test out their decks and get some feedback on lead gen strategies, because really we were talking lead gen to them. You should do those things. You should do them as many times as you can. It's like, batting practice. It's like going to the driving range. The more you do them, the better. And frankly, to tell you the truth, not that I would ever lie to you, but to tell you the truth, that was the first time I've done something like that, where we were giving feedback on the spot. And I did my best to prepare, because I like to prepare. I like to over prepare, because when you over prepare, then when the shit happens that you don't expect, you're good to go. And I thought it went really well. I'm really energized by the event. It took 2 hours. I'm really excited about the feedback these folks got. And then it makes me just want to talk to our audience about doing things like presentations in public, or a roast, or joining a competition. All of those things are really important. Sometimes we shy away from putting ourselves out there. Maybe we fear the spotlight. But you need to, in my opinion, not be shy and run towards the spotlight, because that's where that growth happens, especially if you are not one who wants to do a roast or to do a competition. That's where the growth is going to happen. So, education founders, in my opinion, especially, need to be in front of others presenting. Last week, we were at South by Southwest. I think that was last week. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. And I went to the launch competition. And I was particularly interested in a few founders who had been at our meetup, which was super successful. Thank you. We had 150 people show up. We didn't know if we were going to have one. And one of the presenters had a big problem with their deck. It just wouldn't move. And so it was kind of an awkward moment. I don't think the host knew what to do. The person who was presenting just kind of went off the stage, and we're all just like, well, what do we all do? We all pick up our phones, right? That's what we all do. And we're just waiting and waiting. Things like that are going to happen, but you have to get in front of more people, do more competitions, do roast for those things to happen so that you can say you experienced them. Bottom line, practice breeds confidence. Okay? Whether you are pitching your product in front of a live audience of 500 people in front of you that you could reach out and touch, or whether you are pitching in front of a live audience of 5,000 people just using your camera, practice breeds confidence. And every time you do this, it is a chance for you to refine your message and build your confidence. And that will translate directly into your ability to confidently present to investors, to partners, and potential clients. I have a part of my process when I get to know clients, and it is a 45-minute conversation. Basically, I do the same thing every single time, but it's always different because I'm talking to different companies. I did that presentation 252 times last year. Yes, 252 times. That's a lot of practice. Never enough, but it's a lot. And that practice has bred confidence for me. Another tip when you are presenting, and we talked about this a lot with the Startup Lithuania group, is authenticity always wins. Authenticity always wins. People connect with genuine stories and relatable experiences. Okay? And when you share your passion, even if it's about something as simple as or as hard as being a parent, and I'll come back to that, you make yourself more approachable. And in the education space, authenticity is paramount. Showing your passion for education, showing that you know what you're talking about, sharing stories is paramount. There was somebody who pitched in the presentations. She did not necessarily talk about her connection to her own product as a mom of a child who has special needs. And she has created a really wonderful solution for families, teams who are supporting a child with special needs, but she didn't tell her story. And I really encouraged her to do that again. I think that is important because she's telling her story. Authenticity wins. So I'm going to pause here for a second. Anybody who's out there in the audience watching, I know you're out there. Definitely put in the chat who you are, your LinkedIn URL if you want, so people can get to know you and your company. And let's talk. And you can tell me if you've done a roast before competition and how it went. There's one particular person who I know is not feeling well, Paul King, who was here the last couple of weeks. And I think that Paul can talk about entering a competition and putting yourself out there. One of the other really important reasons that people should join competitions or roasts is because you can refine your message. And this idea that I'm thinking about here actually extends out into social media as well, in the sense that if you can explain what you do to a non-expert, and I am a non-expert when it comes to these new companies that I've met, and that again extends to your social media audience, then that will force you to simplify your message until people get it. Now, a great way of simplifying that message so that anybody gets it is your LinkedIn headline. If you've been following me and listening for a long time, you probably knew I was going down the LinkedIn headline track here. The LinkedIn headline is a formula. I help who, using what method, get which results. That's the simplest way of talking about your business. And so if you can refine your message and boil it down to 200 characters, which is what your headline is in LinkedIn, then you're going to be in a really nice place so that people understand who you can help, how you can help them, and which results you have gotten. Your LinkedIn headline, gone are the days of your LinkedIn headline, in my opinion, and in the opinion of the 118 other people who have been through the Ed Sales Elevation Experience. I will speak for them. Gone are the days of, I'm a founder, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a dreamer, I'm a doer, and I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. I am definitely not a Dallas Cowboys fan, but I was trying to think of a D, dreamer, doer, Dallas Cowboys fan. That headline tells me nothing about you that's actually important to me in terms of solving the main challenge I have in the job that I have. So I want to put up right here the QR code for people to join our 3E community. It reminded me to do that was talking about the Dallas friggin' Cowboys, because Brent Newton is a very strong member of our 3E community. And you would get to meet somebody like Brent, who is such a good dude, so supportive, is working his tail off with his co-founder, who happens to be his daughter, who's 13 at this point, to create a wonderful company named MyAl. And MyAl is going to help folks being parents and educators, win the homework revolution. So I bring that up here so that you can join our community and join Brent. And one of the last things, and it's not least, and I live it myself, is that when you do enter into competitions, when you do a roast, you get to build your network. Every opportunity to speak, whether it's at a conference, a local meetup, a virtual workshop, is a chance to connect with potential collaborators, investors, customers. And it's going to increase your visibility. And that's the reason I do it. Totally the reason I do it. All of these reasons that I've listed for you guys are the reasons that I do it. Practice breeds confidence. Authenticity wins. Refine your message. Build your network. I am practicing what I preach. And in terms of building my network, Patrick, you are somewhere out there. Patrick Collins, I believe you're in Lithuania, but you're from the UK. And I am pumped to talk to you and get to know you. That is me actively building my network. So if you're trying to think about how you can do this, and I hope it's in your brain causing you to think a little bit more about, okay, I should do a virtual workshop and present or a competition. Here's some steps to make sure that you get a lot out of that time that you spend. First of all, start small. My client, who's becoming a really good friend, Katie, did a TED Talk. Way to go, Katie. Whew. I would love to do a TED Talk one day. Well, way to go, Katie. But listen, we all can't be Katie. We don't have to be Katie. Don't wait for a TED Talk invitation. Offer to speak at local meetups, industry events, virtual workshops. Comment on social media. Okay. Now you guys know where I'm going with this, right? When I say comment on social media, let's drill down here and let's talk about LinkedIn. Maybe you don't want to speak. Maybe you don't want to post on LinkedIn. Maybe what you should do is just start by commenting. Because commenting will also help you begin to breed confidence, be authentic, refine your message, and build your network. So just start by commenting. So start small. Look for feedback. All of the companies that we got a chance to know today from Startup Lithuania, they were so gracious in their feedback. Granted, I am no Simon Cowell, neither is Patrick, neither was Murphy, who was one of our other awesome judges or roasters or whatever you want to call us. But they got feedback, they were writing it down, and they were gracious. You can network strategically. And I wrote that down because I'd much rather you network strategically than just network to network. I've been doing a lot of strategic networking the last couple of months. And in fact, I'm probably not going to go to ASU GSV in San Diego in April, because I've got a lot to catch up on. It's been so strategically done, easy for me to say, that, you know what? I'm just going to take a break and focus on the strategic networking I've been doing. You can also create your own opportunities. You don't have to wait for a roast or a workshop or a competition. You can host webinars. You can host workshops. You can host online courses. You can host a LinkedIn Live. If you've got Ken by your side, you could do that. If you've been with us since we started this, We went through some bumps and some bruises of getting the tech right, but now he's got it right. You could start a podcast. You could do a blog. You can do all of these things. I encourage you to do them after you've gone through the Ed Sales Elevation experience, because we're going to get your messaging dialed in. We're going to establish your credibility. We're going to talk about your offer. People are going to want to work with you very quickly, so you're going to learn how to close. That's what we cover in the Ed Sales Elevation experience. But if you've already done that, create your own opportunities. Just be consistent. So if you're going to start a show, be consistent with it. If you're going to start a LinkedIn Live, be consistent. If you're going to blog, be consistent. If you're going to leverage LinkedIn, be consistent. Just like you would if you were going to the gym. You know that you have to be consistent to get the results that you want. And the last thing I would say is go outside of your comfort zone. Embrace the roast. Go outside of your comfort zone. And what I mean by that is try things that you might not be used to, haven't done well in the past, at least you think so. And that brings me back to today. We had one person who was presenting, and honestly, I would love to, let me pull up this company, guys, real quick, because the C School, home of future creative leaders. I friggin' love this business model. Basically, I'm going to hopefully get this right here. Well, let me read it from their website. The C School, a hub of transformative insights in creative leadership. And basically what they do is they help folks who are in the creative part of a business to become better leaders. And the guy who was talking had a few technical issues and gave a great presentation. But at the end, the last word he said was shit. He said shit. Probably thought that was no good, but we all thought he did a great job. And I'm not just being Simon Cowell I'm not just being Heidi Klum. We all thought he did a great job. And he was surprised to hear that. So go outside your comfort zone, do your best, and people will appreciate it. I want you guys to remember that the journey of an ed tech founder, the journey of a company founder in education, is about continuous learning and growth. Just interesting that I kind of have to remind everybody that, because most people I work with are educators and product people, and especially the educators. They should know that life, owning a business, running a business is about learning and growth. I want you guys to embrace opportunities to practice and connect, because that is where the growth comes from. That is where you can build your confidence. That is where you can refine your message. That is where you can ultimately achieve your goals. So I hope that this show has been helpful to everybody. I'm going to cut it a few minutes short. You might be able to hear my voice. It's getting a little raspy today, because I had a great call this morning with a new member of our team at 7:15 in the morning. From 8 to 10, we did Startup Lithuania. From 10 to 10:30, had a great meeting with Ken. From 10:30 to 11, I met with a company, Starbridge, love them. And there's a lot of opportunities to collaborate there, and you'll hear more, I think, in our audience about them. And then I rolled in here. I've got lunch, hopefully, for the next 30 minutes. And then, guys, it is coaching for an hour and a half with Kyle. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 new client meetings. We practice what we preach here, guys. We really do. And I promise you, I am practicing what I preach when it comes to trying to breed confidence through practice, authenticity winning, refining my message consistently, and trying to build my network. You guys should do that too. It will work. So thank you guys for joining me today. The audience was a little bit quiet, which is fine. Maybe you're just like hanging on every word. Or maybe you're doing other things at this same time. It's interesting how these are developing. Never thought of myself as somebody who could talk for 26 minutes, but I think it's kind of working. And then these are basically turning into shows. Our next show we are going to release for Breaking the Grade is about conferences, and that came from this. So I think, Ken, we need to take a step back and think, do we have something here? There's Ramon, who has entered. Ramon, good to have you again. We had a nice conversation last Sunday. There's a chance we might get a chance to work together on my YouTube when the time is right. Thanks for joining. So I'm going to head out the door here. I'm going to eat some lunch, rest my voice, because from 12 to 5, I've got coaching and new client meetings, which is very exciting. You guys know where to find me on LinkedIn. I'm there all the time. Today I was theoretically, virtually in Lithuania. Tomorrow I'm headed to Argentina, where I am going to coach 5 startups in the ed tech space. I'm really excited about that. Something new. Something that will allow me to breed confidence. A place where it will allow me to be authentic. A place where it will allow me to refine my message and build my network. Again, practicing what we preach. Ramon, I am good. Gonna go have some lunch. Happy to have you. Probably talk to you offline at some point. Hope everybody has a great day. It's Thursday. I shouldn't have to tell you that. And, just keep at it. Go outside your comfort zone. Get roasted. Have judges like myself, Patrick, and Murphy, who are basically, Randy's and Heidi Klum's. But then also be willing to have the Simon Cowell who's going to give it to you straight, and sometimes it might hurt, but you're going to grow from there. Keep on growing, guys. Thank you very much. See you soon.